Okay, let's look at the first problem together. Okay, it's showing a graph and it's showing the cost of holding a wedding at a hotel. Okay, so on the y-axis is the cost in dollars. On the x-axis is the number of guests. Okay, we want to find the slope, y-intercept, equation, and answer a question. Okay, notice that at 0 guests, you're charged $125. Okay, and then for 5 guests, you would be charged $250. Okay, for 10 guests, you'd be charged $375. Okay, and so on. Okay, so let's try to answer these questions based on this information. Okay, first is the slope. Okay, with labels. I want you to stick labels on the slope so you understand it better. Okay, slope of a graph is rise over run. So just pick any 2 points. Remember, the closer together, the better. You don't have to reduce as much. Okay, go from one point to another. We're going to rise and run. Okay, so we're going to rise one space here. But look at the axis really carefully, the numbering. Notice we're counting by 125s. You see that? Okay, each space on the y-axis is worth $125. Okay, the run is one space, but on this x-axis, each space on the x-axis is 5. Okay, it's counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. So it'd be 5 guests. So the slope is $125 over 5 guests. Okay, go ahead and simplify that. 125 divided by 5 is 25. So it's $25 per guest. So you could put something on your paper like the slope is 25, and that means the cost increases $25 per guest. Every time you bring another guest, they're going to charge you an extra $25. Okay, get it? Okay, the y-intercept. So slope was change. Okay, the cost is changing $25 for every guest you have. Okay, the y-intercept is the initial amount. And for a graph, the y-intercept, to find that initial amount, it's where it crosses the y-axis. So that line crosses the y-axis at 125. Okay, so the y-intercept is 125. Okay, it's the initial amount. Okay, y-intercept is the initial amount. Okay, in this case, it's $125 charge for 0 guests. Yeah, of course, you wouldn't have a wedding with 0 guests, but that's what it means. If you had no one show up at all, they would charge you $125. So I'm just going to put the y-intercept is $125, and we're charged $125 before we have any guests coming at all. Okay, y-intercept. Okay, so we're charged $125 right away. That's the y-intercept. And then the slope of 25 means we're charged an extra $25 for every guest. Okay, the equation, y equals, okay, the number that comes next is always the slope. The number that comes after at the end is the y-intercept. So y equals 25 is the slope, x, plus 125, which is the y-intercept. Okay, so my equation is y equals 25x plus 125. Okay, think about what that means a second. Okay, Y is the dollars. See, that's the label on the y-axis. X is the guests. So what this equation is telling us is that the cost, Y, always equals $25 per guest plus the $125 they charge you right away. Okay, the initial amount. Okay, so if you want to know if you were charged $1,000 for your wedding, how many guests arrived, you could if you really wanted to. And I've had a lot of kids prefer to do this. Follow that pattern. Just keep following that pattern. Okay, for 20, it's 625. For 25, it's 750. Just keep following that pattern with the numbers, and eventually you're going to get to $1,000 for the Y value. Okay. I mean, even numerically, even if you're not looking at the graph. And once you get $1,000, you can figure out what the number of guests would be. Okay, but I was thinking most of you would want to use the equation. Okay, so they're giving you, think about what they're giving you. They're giving you $1,000 in cost. They're asking you for how many guests. Okay, they're always going to give you one of the variables and ask you for the other variable. Okay, well, if they're giving you $1,000 and dollars is on the y-axis, they're giving you Y. Okay, and they're asking you for the number of guests, which is X. So we're going to take that 1,000, put it in for Y, bring down the rest of the equation, and solve for X. Okay, they're giving you $1,000. They're asking you for the number of guests, which is X. So we're going to just plug that in and solve this equation. Get rid of the added 125 first by subtracting 125. 875, I believe, is equal to 25 times X. Okay, now we need to get rid of the multiply 25 by dividing. And if I remember correctly, when we worked out this problem in class, you get 35. So if you brought 35 guests, then the total cost for having the wedding would be $1,000. Okay, let me know if you have questions. I want to help you with this. Please contact me and I'll help you.